this is the strange situation in this working together, because it's such, working with parents, working with teachers is such a social business in a way, and you need the reflection and you need the contact. So I will try my best, and I hope you are ready with pen and paper, because I'm going to ask you some questions to think about, so, and bring in your questions so we can discuss this as well. I don't necessarily have to stick to my guideline altogether, but I can try my best to introduce some ideas, because you're all involved. I understand you're all more or less involved as parents in a Waldorf school, in one of these young, I call them young Waldorf schools in Malaysia, because here in Germany we have schools which are, of course, which celebrated already their 100th years of trying good Waldorf pedagogy. Let me put it that way. So school as such is such a changing institution, because even though the children go through a Waldorf school from grade 1 to grade 12 in the best, there is always change going on with teachers, with students, with parents as well. So in a way, and especially in these times, you have to be very flexible. You need a very flexible temperament in order to cope with that. So let me give you some ideas about how does a good school work. Always you have to see a school, a Waldorf school, like one of your children, actually, because there is, as well as you have it with a human being, you have, and because it's built by human beings, you have this body, soul, and spirit aspect for a school as well. So the body side of a school is how you run it, how you run the administration, and how the school is built up, and what buildings you have, what grounds you have, what surroundings you have. So you need this spiritual body in order to stay alive, to grow your soul qualities as a school. And as far as I know, the Waldorf schools all over the world, they all have they grow their own ideas, they grow their own soul qualities, because there are so many of soul qualities that not one of all these Waldorf schools in the world can represent all the soul qualities that are in the human beings, that can go with a Waldorf school, but they develop a certain individuality. And this is actually what we want for a Waldorf school, to be individual, to grow their own qualities out of their possibilities where they grow. This can be very much out of the country spirit, out of the folk soul of the people. This can be very much out of the surroundings you have for this single school. And not one of the Waldorf schools I know can be compared. So comparison is really not the idea we have with the Waldorf school. This is a good school, so all the other schools have to be like this and have to be run like that. But there should be the freedom for each school to grow their own qualities. But then where they unite is the spiritual idea of Waldorf, what is behind a Waldorf school. And this is the idea still working in these days, and I think still a challenge for the future very much, is to bring about a pedagogy that is wholesome for the children, that can set an environment for the children to grow their individualities into their lives, to grow. So a school to grow as a social organism, and in this social organism you feel, for a school, you have the child who is in the center of the interest, of course, the child growing up in the center of the interest, and you have sideways the teachers and the parents working together. So the idea of the Waldorf school is very much that parents and teachers interact with one another out of the interest of the child and out of the idea of the Waldorf school spirit. So in general, what do we need? What do we have for a school? When is a school working properly? A school is working properly when parents and teachers interact with one another. And I put 3 levels in the beginning. I put 3 levels we have. Maybe you can blend them in, Kian. The 3 levels we have, that you should work together as parents and teachers. Since it is the teachers who are the one who follow up this, the spiritual idea of education, it is for the parents, once they grow interest into the Waldorf school, to gain and to gather information about how a Waldorf school works and what is the idea behind the Waldorf school. Parents should understand this, because if they don't, sooner or later they will run into trouble with the Waldorf school, because there are so many different ideas and points of view you need to understand, and the teachers are working with. So we have this information level for understanding how a school works and what is the intention of the school. And this is a question that I want you to ask yourself as a first question. How does this information level work in your school? Is there enough information you feel you have as a parent on how the school works, on what they teach, on how they deal with the children, on the different issues? So this is basically to differentiate information level. And I want you to write down, to put down how this works in your school. What is, from your very point of view, what is missing? And on the other hand, what is working very well within your school for your own feeling? Is there enough information you get? Is there more than you want? This is also possible. Or is it that you have constantly to ask? So also the exchange of information. This is a level I want you to focus on, to put down your ideas on. Just scribble it down a little bit to keep in mind, so we can exchange your observations and your feelings about how is it working in your school with this information level about Waldorf and about your school. Another level we have, and also there I want you to put down your observations, your feelings, your experiences, is how does the relationship level work with the school? And now I mean not the relationship level with your child, I mean the relationship level with the teachers, with the management team. How do you interact? How is the relationship going? What are you doing for bettering this possibility, the possibilities of relation? What do you wish further? And then another level, a third level we have is the action level, because we understand very much that a Waldorf school is not a school where parents send their children in the first place, but is a school where the parents engage themselves in one way or another. There are many different ways, and not just send their children there and want the school to solve this business of education. But what is the action level you as parents see for yourself? Where can you be active? Where do you support? Where do you want maybe more possibilities in order to support the running of the school? So I want to give you some time to think about this and write this down, and then feedback. What Kian, would be the best way to feedback? Just put the questions on the chat. Shall we work it like that?
Yes, so you can put it all in the chat, or if you
also the audio is possible.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Audio is possible as well. So I will give you 2 or 3 minutes and I repeat the questions. So one is the information level. How does information work in your school? What is working well? What is not working so well? What are you missing? Information level. How satisfied are you with the relationship level? This is for one thing, it is the relationship, for instance, with your teacher, with your class teacher, who is always the first person to talk to if anything occurs. But also the relationship with the whole of the school. So there is single relationships, there is the group relationship. How much do you feel you are in good contact, in good communication, in good relationship with the people running the school? Maybe also we're involved with what is going on in the school. And the third level I was asking for is practically, how are you involved? How are you asked to take part? And how do you take actions to support the school? This can be actions at home. This can be actions within the school. Is it that you feel you are overacted by the school, that they ask too much? Is it that you have not time enough to participate in anything that is going on in the school? So think about it a bit and scribble down your ideas, your observations, your experiences so far with your school. Yeah, I will give you I think 5 minutes for that, to think about it.
involved in fetching the kids when needed?
Pardon?
We have a sharing from Alicia. She's involved in fetching the kids when needed. B. Kun shares that the three perspectives that she thinks about. One, information level, that I would prefer more interaction with teachers, updating parents through parent-teacher meetings on a regular basis to help parents understand the rationale of teaching approaches.
So she feels there is a lack in that, yes? Is this a wish expressed?
Yes, it seems to be.
Okay. Parents, teachers interaction. Yes.
Also on the information level, Bikun shares school direction and future development.
Mm-hmm.
If any of the participants want to unmute yourself and share verbally, you can do so also. If you also like to share it in Mandarin, you can do so. We have
Yeah.
Tichui who will be able to translate. Yeah.
I will try my best.
Any other thoughts or sharing from the participants? Thank you. Alicia shares that on the relationship level, number two, unclear on how the school started, the school future, school development, and it's hard for parents to know how to help.
That's right. How to help.
Deva shares that the main language medium is a challenge versus the first language of the student. So the medium of the instruction in the school, first language of the student is.
Mm-hmm. This is a Malaysian thing, yeah. Mm-hmm. So let me start with one question, and you can always come up with others. Kian is on the guard to follow your questions up and bring them over to me. So there was this question about how does parents and teachers interaction work. So you are quite right. You want to be in the process as parents, you want to be in the process of having this information of what is going on with your children in the classroom. And therefore, we usually run in the Waldorf schools. If it's not Corona times, we run the parents teachers meetings on a regular basis. And a regular basis means it is about once a month, or in later years about every 6 weeks, that you have a meeting with the teachers who are teaching the class, not just the main lesson teacher, but all the subject teachers. The older the kids grow, the more the subject teachers are involved as well, to meet up on a regular basis in order to exchange what they are doing, so that you can bring in your observations from home, what you see in the children, what your experiences are at home, as well as the teachers telling you what they try to work on, what level they have, and what problems they are about to solve, and what they are going to teach them roughly, so that you are on the same level of understanding. Also, in order to support and know what the teacher wants, so you can pick things up, not that you do them at home, but that you support the teachers in the way that you tell the children what their work is and what they have to do. So if this is not installed, this regular exchange, then you should ask for that in a school. It should be on a regular term. And of course, the teachers are expecting the parents to participate. Maybe in these Corona times, you can even do it in small online conferences. It doesn't have to be a long evening or afternoon, or however you run it in your school. So in Asia, with people living in these mega cities, traveling around, I often found that they have a short meeting with the class teacher before school ends or after the ending of the school, and the children are still in the classroom or on the playground or somewhere, while teachers and parents have a classroom meeting. This is what I call a classroom meeting. A class and the teachers of the class, or one teacher of the class, don't just wait for these meetings until some problems occur, but do them right away. Do them on a regular term to make sure things are more or less running smoothly. So this was about parents-teachers interaction. This question, is there anything deeper into that? Then just write or say your ideas or your observations. Sometimes it's easier for the teacher if you do not wait for you being invited to such a meeting, but to also ask for it. Yeah, there is a certain duty from the side of the school to run these meetings and to be on good terms in exchanging classroom information. This is the classroom level. Then there is a school level, and from my observation and experience, I should say there should at least be twice a year a parents' meeting with the school management and teachers on ideas you were mentioning next, on the school development, on the future plans of a school when it's a young school. So a meeting in a way that is not only just a lecture by the management or by the parents, by the teachers on what plans they have, but it can be, especially if it is a young school, but not only, because even an so-called old school needs changes and needs refreshment after a certain while. Maybe needs to put new focuses on things which were not in their mind before. So this meeting can also be a kind of meeting where you work together, where you bring ideas together, where you group up, where you collect questions, ideas, concerns, and work on them together. So it's not so much this direction that everybody in the management knows where the school is going to. This is with the Waldorf school also a process. It's not a fixed ideas and we want this. Maybe we want to build up a school up to grade 12. And maybe we have to worry about what exams do we give the children then at the end. But for a very young school, like for instance, K.L. Steiner, it is more this, that you need to go step by step and develop further. Maybe you have an overall idea, you can exchange your overall ideas, but how you go the way, how you go it step by step should be discussed also with the parents. So parents should be involved in these ideas, in this discussion process, like in a workshop way that you develop it together. This is what is very different from the traditional education, where there is a concept, what you follow up, and then it comes, somebody has to care for it being brought into life. But with the Waldorf school, it's a different and unusual cup of tea that parents and teachers sit together on their ideas and work on this on regular terms. Out of this working together can come different groups into being who go deeper into the subject, and they can always cooperate with parents. Parents can always cooperate in the best sense of the word with the teachers and with the management on the ideas of how to bring a school forward. And there are so many different directions, so many different ideas, so many different ways and paths you have to step in when you build up a new school, or when you want a Waldorf school working properly, that there is more than enough work for all of you. And the question often is where to focus and what to do as a next step. But also these things you should sit together and work out a plan and work out a schedule of what you are going to do. So you have this level working together in the classroom with the children, and this is an exchange of, say, once a month or every 6 weeks, something like that. And you have this level on how to grow the school together. And this is in exchanging information, and at least this should be either once a term, or depends on how many terms you have, but at least I think you need it twice a year on this. So then this is also where you discuss, or where you talk about how to help. Yeah, this was a third question I put down. Sometimes parents don't know how to help the school. This is correct. But this is also a matter of attitude. Usually, we are so used in our life that we are being told what to do. We should try to refrain from that as grown-ups. It's okay for the children. They need to be told what to do. But for the parents, it is, if you have this feeling, you don't know how to help, you don't know what to do. You want to do more, or you want to find your personal way of what you can manage to help the school to grow, then just go and ask. You can ask, either you want to engage yourself more for the help of the teacher, of your class teacher, or you want to engage yourself more for the growing of the school. Maybe you have some special ideas. The thing with the ideas in the Waldorf schools is there are usually too many people, too many ideas. This is also why you need to come together and always ask whether this is a helpful thing you can do. This came to your mind, always bring in your ideas, but then be ready to discuss with the teachers, with the management team, whether this is needed, whether it is helpful, or where your help is needed. You can always bring in your concerns to the teachers' conference. The teachers' conference is concerned with educational problems. Yeah. If you have anything on that level, then just approach the teachers' conference, the teachers' meeting with your questions. If you have any concerns about the growing of the school, about what is to be done next, about what workshops should be run, how can we better this or that, then approach the school management with your questions. Put it as a question, and then things should be worked upon. Yeah, so this was the third question on the information level. Do we have anything else about the information level?
Yeah, there are two related questions. I think the two related questions that you have touched on a little bit on.
Yes.
First is how do you help the teacher if the parent feels the teacher is struggling? And the second question would be, what be the appropriate boundaries for parent involvement in supporting the school teacher, since you mentioned that the quality soul of the Waldorf school is teachers and parents working together for the benefits of the children. So what will be the appropriate boundaries of parent involvement?
Aha. Yeah. We have these two. This is also a relationship question already a little bit. Yeah, not just the information level. It's a relationship. So we have to define the roles on this. Maybe you can blend in this this relationship level slide, Ken, because this is very much about this relationship. Why do I put this not on information level but on relationship level? Is because in a relationship we always represent a role. We are either husband or wife, we are either shopkeeper and customer, we are all these different roles in life we have. So in a school it is differentiated between, I mean, we have the children in the center, then we have the parents and we have the teachers. So what helps a lot is that we define these roles. The teacher is the one busy in the classroom dealing with a class, and the class consists of different children. But his main concern is teaching the class on the level of the age group, according to the abilities of the individualities there. But he sees the class. The parents see their own child, focus on their own child. Being a member of this class, the teacher teaches, but they are parents, they have their family life, and they have their child basically at home. Once you are clear about these two roles, already this helps a lot, leaving the teacher being a teacher and leaving the parents being the parents. We should give each other the freedom of becoming professional teachers and becoming professional parents. So your question about what can I do when the teacher is struggling? Maybe you all have had this experience that the teacher had problems in guiding your child or getting him or her to do this or that. So that you feel you should do something with your child in order to support the teacher. Refrain, I can only say refrain from that. This is the teacher's job. So his or her job is clearly to stand in the classroom, to teach the class, and to do it more or less properly. Mind you, I've been teaching for more than 40 years, but still, it is, when you enter the classroom, it is a challenge. What you can do is appreciate this task of the teacher and appreciate his or her efforts in doing this. But a teacher in front of the classroom has to survive by himself or by herself. If they have certain problems, which can always happen, like you have been a class teacher for 6 years and now you enter grade 7 and they develop in a way we know, you can face problems. And there are always, this is the job of teaching, facing problems actually, but facing them. Yeah. So this belongs to the professionality of the teacher. Whether you have the impression it is going the right or the wrong way is a different cup of tea. So if you have this impression, you may always discuss this with the teacher or with the College of Teachers, but it is not your task to solve this actual problem, because this is classroom work, and this is clearly what belongs from the professional point of view to the teacher, to the school. This is the responsibility of the school, of the teacher. The parents' responsibility is very much to look after their children in a way that they are healthy, that they are in school on time, that they are equipped with what the school needs for them in order to teach them. So materials have to be there. This sometimes can be a problem that causes unnecessary trouble, that the children don't have their proper homework, that they don't bring their materials, that they forget about their recorder or their sports stuff they need, Eurythmy shoes, whatever. This causes trouble, but this is a task the parents can take off the burden of the teacher to look after their children in a way that they are in order to go to the school, that they sleep enough, that they have done their work, that they focus on the school. Very much this kind of preparation work that is done in a family. So if there are constant troubles occurring for the school, for instance, this on the other side can also happen, that constantly a child is coming too late to school, constantly causing trouble in this. Then of course the teacher has to talk to the parents, because this is clearly out of his possibilities to look after that. This is clearly a task for the parents. So I want you to see these role definition of the teacher. So the classroom work is the teacher. If there are educational problems, pedagogical problems in the classroom, it is clearly to solve these problems on the side of the teacher, on the side of the school. And the problems, the family problems are clearly a task for the families to solve themselves, to solve for themselves, to solve them. But what can happen is that you should interact and talk about it. So what you are satisfied with, also what you are not satisfied with. Address the teacher should address the parents. Very much this is a communication problem, that we feel shy, that we don't want to approach the parents, that we don't want to give a note, that we feel we are too much stepping into their privacy, but You clearly don't do this as a teacher as long as we focus on what is needed in the child for the school. And you should be aware of what is needed in the child in order to be a pupil that can follow the lessons in the school. It is very plain, it sounds very simple, but as I have experienced, there is, in these very simple things, sometimes it's very tricky to get these problems solved. So if you are aware of this, if you try to approach the teacher, if you try to exchange, it often is very helpful. This for the teacher is very good if you show your interest in little questions. It doesn't need a lot of effort, but just in little questions in between, as long as you don't approach a teacher before a lesson, because then he is totally full of ideas for his lesson and has no time to discuss with you and your problems. So it's not a good idea to do this in the morning when you send your children to school, but in between, or we have other ways these days of communication to talk to one another. It's easier the sooner you talk, the sooner you talk about a minor problem, the better it is, because if you don't, it may develop into a major problem, which we want to avoid, want to try to avoid. Yeah. So this takes us to the relationship level. If there's any more about this information, I would like to ask you, do you feel you get enough on the level of understanding Waldorf? Because this is the basic issue on the information level. Do you get enough information? Think about it. Do you get enough information about how Waldorf works and what is the intention of the Waldorf pedagogy, other than just a different idea of education from the mainstream schools? Is there any experience in that? Because you clearly are not, the parents are clearly not the ones who are trained professionally. Yeah, you don't run through a teacher training, but you are depending on the professionals, on the information you get about the Waldorf school. Yeah, maybe you just enter the Waldorf school out of trust, that you believe it's a good school, there's something different happening. So what is the information level you have about Waldorf that you really understand? Because I think this is so important, because it can help you to go through problems which will sooner or later occur, because the school is a living organism, and all these living organisms among people, this is how we are as people, sooner or later present us with tasks, and we call it problems. Sometimes we can call it tasks. And then it's easier to handle these when we understand what they are about. If you are in trouble with certain things, and only then you start to go deeper into the information level. With some people, it has to go like this. It can help, but it is easier if you have enough information, enough understanding before the problems occur. So let me get an impression what you think, if you have enough on this level of understanding how Waldorf works. if you feel satisfied with what you get from the school, because the school needs this feedback, whether they have to do more on that or not. If you don't voice it out, nothing will happen, or not more than what is happening anyway. Yeah. So I see some questions popping up. Kian,
Yeah,
please.
as one sharing, I think my school has organized many initiatives and promoted water of education to help parents understand water of education. But the challenge is not many parents are able to attend or participate in workshops or activities that are organized.
Oh yeah,
And
I see. So how
another
to
sharing,
bundle the, yes? Shall I answer that
another
first?
sharing. Yeah, yeah, sure.
So this is, yeah, this is the goodwill in a young school, for instance, and you are all young schools in Malaysia, to give parents the chance to understand. From what I hear in your comment is that there is maybe too many, and parents don't have the energy in the everyday life to take part. So in a way, it sounds like there is energy wasted by the school, because the parents cannot participate, or not enough parents can participate. So there you have to sit down to bundle your energy, to think this over. Yeah, this cannot be done by just one teacher or one parent. There, maybe you have a group of parents, those who have time to be involved, to sit down and think what is possible in your life circumstances for the parents. Maybe in this case, less will be more. Yeah, if you have a condensed parents meeting on a day where it is possible for most of the parents to participate, and then just have it in longer intervals, but to focus or to concentrate the energy and think about it so that parents have the possibility. It can be a matter of energy and quality to focus and to offer not too many different things. Parents sometimes, teachers sometimes are eager that parents understand everything at one time, but you have to be patient as well, and develop it slowly, and try to focus on quality instead of quantity in this case. So this was that question, what I have to say in this. Think about whether it is maybe too much for the parents. What you offer, and also the teachers, I want to say, don't waste your energy on that, rather concentrate it. Make it possible for the parents to participate in a way. Sometimes less is more, or can be more. Yes. And I saw something else popping up. Kian?
Yes, Erica commented there's enough information in light of coronavirus this year. Has also helped her being a new water parent. She definitely looks forward to the regular meetings, the 4 to 6 weeks at a time, to find out more. Also very fortunate to have had a parent representative who has been a bridge for her between the parents and the school. There's also very great community which is open to sharing and opening up conversations. Um, Alicia shared
Yeah.
she went to a teacher training. Yeah. Alicia shared she went to a teacher training program because she wanted to know what education she's giving to her kids. But she started an initiative, a study group, but nobody seemed interested, especially the Robican book study when a class started.
This is a question, do I get that right? This is a question by a parent who wants to know more about Waldorf but doesn't find the people to study with, right? Was this a question?
Yes, yeah.
So what to do? What to do? Self-study?
Another related question from another parent. She's not too sure why most parents are not able to participate, whether there's time issues or interest issues.
Yeah, okay. I mean, the one thing is, you cannot make parents, or I don't feel it right to make parents interested deeper into Waldorf if they are not. There are always these parents who are satisfied with what they see, who take the school, what it is, who don't want to be involved much more because they have no need. They see no need for it. So if you have these parents, there is always a handful of parents in a school who are in a way these carrier of the ideas, the ones who want to be involved deeper, usually find somebody to work with or to study deeper. Or if you have this wish for doing so. I mean, I let this corona out a bit in the moment. What we can do online, we try online as we do now, but hopefully times will change again, and then we can have what is more human and more normal. We can have direct contact with one another. Try, if it is only one or two people sitting together in a study group, maybe those mothers who have time in the morning because they don't have to go to work and sit together, it makes a difference for a school if you have these people who sit together. And if you feel you are the only one, then you just do it by yourself, but it has a quality for the school. I trust that sooner or later other people will come and follow it up. These study groups is also such a thing, which if you run them once a week regularly, maybe it is too often. Maybe it is taking too much energy and lifetime of the parents' everyday life. So try to find a solution that also here you focus on less is more, but on regular terms, like once a month. And create an environment where you like to exchange and where you like to sit together. And if you don't find anybody who is interested, then just do it for yourself. Go to the school, sit down there and read your book and write down your questions. And this is some individual personal work you are doing as a parent that matters to the school, that makes a difference. You have to be patient in some ways and not to work for the immediate effect. But what a school also needs is these patient parents who work with a constant interest, who have some stamina and growing interest throughout the years, I must say, throughout the years. And things can change. So as a parent, you are free, and you should be free. You are not, this is also the defining of the role defining of parents and teachers. The teachers have a duty. They have their duties, everyday duties, to be in the classroom, to teach the children, to run the school. The duties of the parents are more free. There should be no pressure on the parents. As a Waldorf parent, you must do this or you must do that, or the parents should not put pressure on each other, because life circumstances can be so different. It is more like you should have the freedom, you should feel the freedom to either participate or to deepen your interest or to take part in this. So for you, it is more an opportunity. As long as the child is involved, there are duties on your side as well, of course. But as long as it comes to the school, there should be this air of freedom for you as parents, because the school is not your main focus in life. You have your work to do, you are engaged in your job, you have your family to run. So the school is just a part of it. And there should be this air of freedom on how much you can give and how much you can involve yourself. Certain duties, I think, are that you exchange with the teachers on your side. This is a duty. And that this duty of being a parent of the school. So as long as you are a parent of the school, you should be involved in this growing of the school. And possibilities are different in how much you can give. It's more like what in addition. There is a low case involvement for the parents, and some can give more, and it is okay, and you should not compare this among the parents. Yeah, this is a growing process. Soul processes, it's a soul process. So the duties are very much on the body level of the school, what is needed so that the body can be alive, can stay alive. But the surplus, the soul development, is that you is what you give. This is different levels in the parents. Some have longing for this, others have longing for this. Some think anthroposophy is, well, an idea to be considered, but okay, a bit crazy. And others think this is right, this is asking my life questions. So I will involve myself deeper. And there should be a freedom for this self-development of the parents as well. Yeah, so body level, things should work. There should be exchange in what is necessary in seeing your duties. Duties is what I would call body level. Soul level is very individual, like the children in the class. You tell them the same story. Some don't even get it. Some don't listen, even though they are maybe quiet in the classroom. And in others, it gives an impression for a lifetime. They never forget this. So we want this menu for the children in teaching as well. Yeah, there's a certain freedom in what you take. It's a gift, but you have the freedom to take it or to leave it. For study group. Yeah. Anything else, Kian, that I don't see?
This I would need a bit of clarification from Alicia. I'm not too sure if this is a question or a comment. The student and parent having issue, teacher like in trouble to handling it. So could I get Alicia to verify, to elaborate on this?
It's a bit very general. Teachers, it's a bit very general. Yeah, it depends then what age the children are. Like if I have an issue, I understand, let me say what I understand is a class The children and the teacher and the parents have an issue, but somehow they cannot communicate it to the teacher because they see the teacher in trouble. Is this the case? Is this what you mean by that?
Yes, but as a parents, we can't we still don't know how to help the teachers because it's between the parents and the teachers. So what should we do if we are because
Are the
like we're
children
standing
involved?
outside seeing? No, but it's in between the parents, the students, and the teachers, and involves
So
also
it's the
other parents. It
Pardon?
involves also other students, but only one parent is very particular on how the teacher solving the problems.
Okay. So it is about the children, but
Yes,
among parents and teacher, right?
yes.
Well, I think you have to find ways to sit down with the teacher to talk. Did you try? The one thing is the parents can gather together. They have the freedom, yeah? If you see a problem and it is about the teacher, you can always, I mean, parents always have different opinions. I know this from the teachers' meetings because teachers also have all these different opinions, yeah? And then this idea comes up and that idea comes up. We have to take the time to sit down to discuss. So this is about troubleshooting, yeah? How do we work on a problem? This can be like what you said on the parent side. The same thing can happen or maybe happens on the teacher side as well. So what we need is in troubleshooting is to become aware. Obviously, you are aware of this problem. So once you are aware, it can be one person being more aware than others. There may be some people who say, okay, this problem will solve by time, or don't take it so serious. You always have this, but you should sit together. You should meet up officially, even writing a little protocol, yeah, to know what you said. It helps to be very much matter to fact. What is matter to fact? Very often when we focus on this, what is matter of fact, or our emotions, which are also involved, clarify a bit, yeah? And then with these questions, try to put it into questions. So when you approach your problem partner, so to say, it is good to come up with questions because these questions give the other person the freedom to show their opinion and to show how much they understand of the problem. If you address them with this problem, this is going wrong and this is not working and this is wrong and this is all the judgments you bring from your point of view. But if you want to come into interaction, into communication, the better way is as a method to put a question, to work out, say in a group of parents, it doesn't have to be all the parents of a classroom, say there are 20, only 5 are interested, but they have this problem. They should sit together and, okay, let's bring 3 questions and then let's try to approach the teacher. If the relationship is so bad, which may happen to the teacher because it has been going on for a long time already, then you should approach. In this way, I should say it is your duty that you approach the teachers, the pedagogical conference, if it is a pedagogical problem, yeah? the pedagogical conference, because then they have something on hand they can deal with, they can work with. One thing is for sure, you cannot change, as I said in the beginning, you cannot change the teacher's work in the classroom. You can have your questions about it, then you should put your questions, you should address them. Yeah. Very often we are shy and withdrawing, and we are not brave enough and don't know how to do it. But we should learn to express where we feel there is need to be talked over. But if it is a serious educational problem, the school, I should say the school and the pedagogical conference is in the duty. So then you address the ones who are in duty on taking the responsibility. Yeah, I don't know if this helped a lot, but this is a process thing going on. Yeah.
Leanne, you wanted to share something?
Yes, I think it's easier if I speak it. I tried to type it, but it didn't go very well. Hi, Ursula. Nice to see you
Hi.
again.
Hi.
I just wanted to raise this thing where I think that a lot of the schools, especially as they're young, they have a desire to explain things to parents, as this is quite a new thing in Malaysia. So schools do set up a lot of things. They have discussion groups, or they have activities. But as we've discussed, not all parents can make it or want to make it at a certain time or whatever it is. So I was wondering whether it is useful to suggest to parents to raise the questions that they have. There is so much to learn about Waldorf. I'm learning every day. And for parents to raise questions to either their class teacher or management, certainly for K.L. Steiner, Kian would be the person to contact, or anybody, in fact, any of the teachers, and pose the questions and start a dialogue. That way we can tackle the issue straight on. So that was my suggestion for parents who perhaps find that they're not getting enough information.
How is it, on which level are the parents of the Malaysia Waldorf movement working together? Is there an overall group of parents working in the interest of Malaysia Waldorf movement? Because these questions probably, I mean, there are certain questions that belong to schools, but there are also, when it comes to Waldorf, the overall idea of Waldorf, this is a matter for all parents in Malaysia, Waldorf parents. Yeah, so there you can bundle the energy and like a thing of like what you do for K.L. Steiner newsletter, there could be a letter for all the Malaysian Waldorf parents on these issues where you can discuss this, where you have general questions or Waldorf questions that you send out. Yeah, so newsletter like that where you collect or work on the questions the parents have. You can send out to all the parents, and whenever they have time or energy, they can sit down at home and read. And you hope to meet their interest. But yeah, is there any kind of parents like Waldorf, Malaysian Waldorf parents group, organization, head organization that you have because meanwhile you have quite a handful of Waldorf schools there, and there is a group of parents, a big group of parents already.
I think, as far as I'm aware, there is obviously one for teachers, but maybe not one for parents. But an idea that we had was to start a blog, which was basically to answer all these questions that parents might have. But that obviously isn't a Malaysian parent group. People would have to access through our school to find out this information. But I mean, I suppose there is a way in which we can get the link out to all parents across all Waldorf schools, and then they can come on to that site to find out these issues.
Yeah.
But it also helps, you see, if the parents say, oh, these are the things we don't understand, and those are the things that we would then tackle first. So that is one way of doing it, short of somebody standing up and saying, okay, we're going to set up a parents association. Malaysian Parent Association, not a school.
Malaysian Parents Association, something like this, yeah, who help in also there, not focus on quality rather than quantity, but it gives a good feeling for the parents that they see, oh, in that school, in that school, in that school, there are all these parents having these questions, and this is Malaysian Waldorf Parents newsletter or something, yeah, once a term, every 3 months, and we have, and there you can have some parents who want to involve themselves more, who follow up the questions there are. It's not that you have to solve individual questions, but questions on how is Waldorf working and how should we work that Waldorf can stabilize in this country, yeah, can have a platform in this country, because sooner or later you will need, and then with parents you have the chance that they are working on all these different professions. They have all these different life experiences which teachers can never have. So this, you can have a summary and a platform of these experiences. So when on a level that you have to kind of fight for Waldorf in your country, which you will have to stabilize it, then you can bring these abilities of different parents together. Yeah. Yeah, of course, there is this, what I saw popping up just now, Freunde Waldorf and all these friends of Waldorf all over the world. But you should, in order to stabilize your movement, the teachers cannot make a movement by themselves. Teachers are so busy in the school, they have to put so much energy in their self-education and educating themselves day by day in the school. It uses a lot of energy, but parents, you know, bringing together their experience, their expertise, their energy on a level can really help a lot for the movement. So maybe you start something like that, bringing all these Waldorf parents, or those who want to bring these Waldorf parents together. Actually, in our country, it is that parents entering a school, becoming a Waldorf parent, automatically become a parent in the Waldorf parent movement in Germany, because every school is part of this parents association. And so far, from what I see, not always, but every now and then, when it comes to certain questions, this platform, this association of parents can help a lot. So
yeah, I think this plenary session itself could be a start, because this
Maybe.
plenary session was actually one of the first events where we have opened up to parents of all the schools as part of a small part of this conference. This conference is primarily for teachers, but this particular plenary session is open for parents of all the schools.
Yeah, and there is a certain, if you have a parents group, you call it in a school, but if you have a parents platform, a Waldorf platform for Malaysia, parents Waldorf platform or something, then there you can also bundle the energy. Parents can come together out of their own interest, out of what they install. Yeah, to run a eurythmy group is practically impossible for a school in Malaysia. because you are only too happy if only you have a eurythmy teacher. But if you have this one eurythmy teacher and he gives like a workshop in this parents association, wherever it is hosted, then those parents with interest in that can come together. Yeah. If you have a workshop running, then people from all over Malaysia, Waldorf parents from all over Malaysia can come together on these issues out of interest. So this is not only needed for the teachers, they are in this need of, you know, how do I run my teaching tomorrow? But for the parents, they have this freedom for just doing it out of interest or out of the interest of supporting the Malaysian movement. And it's easier if you bundle these energies. Yes, maybe we can give it a start, Kian, like this.
Yeah, Ursula, there was also another question that came up. The soul of a school is to have the freedom to develop individual quality. So do you think this is also encouraged between different grade or different class teachers in the same school? Would it be an issue when siblings are attending different classes but receiving different approaches from different teachers in the same school?
Well, there is the one thing, yes, we do encourage individualities in teachers. Yes, and like me here in Germany, like Frau Nicolai, I'm doing it different from my parallel class teacher, Frau Rose, in my school. She is a totally different temperament from mine. She is focusing on different ideas in teaching, but she is doing Waldorf her way. So we are regarded as artists in the way that we do give our own interpretation into Waldorf. Yeah, Waldorf is our recipe book, in a way, cooking book, but we create our own menu. Some have light menus, some have heavy menus, some have lots of desserts, others have more, I don't know what, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we want this, being creative and being different. But of course, we do it on this general idea of Waldorf. We are not working against this idea. If this happens, that you have a teacher who regards Waldorf as, yeah, a good suggestion, but I do it my way, then no, this is not the spirit of the Waldorf school, which is worked upon every Thursday in the teachers' meeting. Yeah, this is where the teachers come together, reflecting on whether they do the things right or wrong out of the Waldorf spirits and how they solve the pedagogical problems out of the Waldorf spirit. So this is the overall spirit. But within this, yes, you are free. Like you put the blue and the red watercolor in front of the children, and they all draw their or paint their individual pictures. You tell them the same story and they all give, like in grade 2, they all draw their different ideas and pictures about this story. This is what we encourage. But under the common idea of Waldorf, yeah. So I would say, if I should answer this question in short, I should say, as long as they are serious about the Waldorf idea, but do it differently, it's okay. Hopefully, so in the sense of karma, hopefully this teacher is serving this child and the other teacher is serving the other child. Yeah, it's not only me who is different from my colleague in grade 3 parallel class, very different, but it's also the children who are very different. I happen to teach grade 3, both grade 3s in English, so I know both classes. Her class is a very different class from mine. The temperament, how they learn, what they take to, very different. So they have their class teacher, mine have their class teacher. And we do encourage individuality. Yes, this is exactly what is being on a loss in the traditional school system. Teachers have to function there. We want teachers to develop with the class, and we want teachers to be creative. And creative, you can only be out of your own personality. So I hope this was a satisfying answer somehow. And Kian, anything else?
This may be a little bit a little different direction. There's a parent who's seeking information about transitioning into mainstream universities from a Waldorf school. Where can I get more information on this?
For your country, actually, I cannot say much about this. This is upper school teachers who are bothered about this. I can only answer this from the point of view of the experience I have with my own students throughout the years who ran through the Waldorf education for all those years, and in between, parents always had this question, oh, will they survive in life? They are so Waldorf. Will they survive and can they cope? So at one time, I was working with a school, with a Waldorf school that only ran up to grade 8. So that covered the class, what we call in Waldorf the class teacher time. After this 8th grade, all my pupils, about 20 pupils or so, had to go to a traditional school because they hadn't finished their school yet. And according to their abilities, they choose different schools. Some went to a well-built up Waldorf school further away. Others went to just the local traditional schools. They all made it. The good thing with Waldorf is that that we try to focus in education on their will forces. Yeah, it's not that we think of the amount of informations we teach them, but it's in Waldorf about the ability of involving yourself in what you want to learn, so that we do not want to destroy this will of interest in the world, this will of learning. And once you have this, you can cope and get yourself ready for anything you want. The school I'm now working with is a well-built up Waldorf school. Up to, they have to do, the Waldorf students who want to make our A levels have to take an additional year, a 13th year. And they are trained by their own Waldorf teachers for these examinations. And in general, we have very good marks in that they manage. But this school, for instance, couldn't do this for many years. The school is 30 years old by now. And only for the past 5 years, they have managed to take these final examinations, the A levels, before they just done the B levels, or how is it called? O levels. And only since 5 years, they have managed to organize themselves in a way that they can take the A levels for the pupils. Before that, they send them to other Waldorf schools in Berlin or somewhere else. So this is also a process of a school to work to. And of course, you have to do this for the final exams. You have to do this in addition, or in serving the possibilities of the law in Malaysia that goes with the examinations. But I think, as far as I have heard, there are ways they are working on how to take examinations in your school. Of course, it is always the nicest and best way if children can do it in their school, as long as they are on good terms with their school. If not, I trust very much, and this is my experience, they manage to go their ways in traditional schools as well. This is how, as much as I can say, and there are many details you have to work on. Also, this can be a task, you know, of a parents' association to work on these ideas, because this sooner or later comes to is a problem for every Waldorf school in Malaysia. This is not, if one school solves this problem for themselves, this is not the way it works. This is a question that comes up for all the schools in Malaysia. You should work together there, and parents can help in this. You also have these educational parents. You have parents who are teaching in traditional schools, who know the laws, who know the procedures. So you can bundle energy on this question as well on the platform of parents. Yes. Anything else in this, Kian? So there's half an hour left, so please, any kind of question, just come up. I try to do my best to answer you. Because there's action level as well, but this is probably what you know best, the action level in a Waldorf school for parents. Who takes which actions and how do we work together? The focus is really, I suggest very much, do not run too many workshops, too many meetings. Try to focus, yeah? And once a group is done, festival, and let me give you an example. When I, as a young teacher, came to a school, of course, they felt the duty of giving me a task, so they sent me to a group with working on the celebrations and festivals of the school. Of course, I had no idea what was going on in a Waldorf school, all these assemblies, and I mean festival assemblies and celebrations going on around the year. Okay, I learned a little bit, but then in the end, after 2 years or so, we found, oh, it's no longer needed. It is so well installed. It is run by itself, and teachers do the work in the conference anyway. So we can, this group can be dissolved. There is no need to have it. Yeah. So once you see a group or an initiative is dying, be ready for it to bury it, so to say, the Waldorf cemetery. You don't have to keep things up if they are just time and energy consuming with little outcome. Yeah, this is not what we need in our days, where where all of us are so very busy in running the everyday affairs. So just focus on what is really needed, do reflect on what is needed, and then just do it. And once it's done, it's done. The other thing is, if you create a group doing this or that task, then give them the responsibility. Let them do it and accept what they do, whether you agree or not. Once you delegate a task, it is up to the one who takes the task to solve the problem. Because you very often find, this is what my experience is in a Waldorf school, that Then you have a group, you give them the responsibility, you want them to solve the problem, but then all these people come up and, oh, I should do it this way. I have another idea, and why don't you try it that way? With all these good ideas you give them. If you have a good idea and you trust you can solve a problem, do it. If others do it, give them the freedom and responsibility in running it. They need this freedom and they need this trust. If that is no longer there, then better do not work on it at all and wait until you have to take new initiative. Yeah. So it's the initiative to create, the initiative to do, but also the initiative to see what is not necessary and then just let it go. This is about the action level. There are enough duties that take our energy every day anyway. Yes. So, but make sure, so for the organization, just make sure in your school that you have this one group, which I call the responsibility circle, who do take the responsibility for administration, who do take the responsibility for carrying on the ideas of Waldorf, who carry the responsibility for overseeing the school's work on the whole and in detail. Is a lot of work. It's really hard work. This is the one group. You call it the management group, but it is actually the group who does take the responsibility. Parents can be in that. It's good if in such a group, parents and teachers work together. But it's clearly a group that takes the responsibility for the whole school. Time and development required. Personal development as well. Then you have the group of the teachers. You have the more experienced, less experienced teachers. They are always working together in order to create a teacher's body to serve the Waldorf ideas, to serve and develop the Waldorf teaching. In your country, this is a main focus in order to make the Waldorf movement fruitful, to really have good teacher groups working together and working on their professionalism in Waldorf. So they are running the school. Every school is only as good as the teachers are. And then you have the big group of the parents and the teachers and the whole community coming together. And then I suggested, okay, there should also be an overall group for the teachers. You have it already. For the parents, you should also create an overall group for the movement in Malaysia, because you have very special, very interesting conditions in your country, like what you said with the languages, what you asked with the languages, main languages, second, third languages in your country. You have this. You have these very, very special and only Malaysian with the colonial background conditions in your country. So you need to develop your uniqueness, I should say. This is a certain individuality of the movement in Malaysia. Working on that. So it's difficult to copy Taiwan, it's difficult to copy China. You can get impulses, but in the end, you need to work on the development of a unique Malaysian approach to Waldorf. This is maybe how we can call it. Yes. Yeah, your society has certain problems others don't have. So you have to work on your level. You have to be creative in solving your own problems. And in looking what you want to get up, which ideas you want to pick up from Waldorf, which are serving your situation. Yeah. So are there any questions concerning this or other questions I can try to answer? Then let me give you some hints. Yeah, if you want to work as a group together, what I have found out to be essential for a good quality school. In order for you to have like a list that you can work upon, that you can reflect upon. So the one side, the body of the school that I was mentioning in the beginning is mainly the concern of the management and the administration in a school. Yeah, the frame. So like you prepare the little bed or cradle that the newborn baby is put into. And you as parents are part of the soul of the school. Don't see yourself outside the school, see yourself inside the school. Yeah, you belong to the school as much as the teachers belong to the school. So you can give impulses, you can take responsibility for the quality that a school shows. Whether you do it very actively or whether you do it from the background, that doesn't matter, but you are part of this social organism. See yourself as part of it. And have this understanding that a school is in interaction, and this is what we call a growing organism, a growing social organism. So the soul of a school, the quality of the school shows on different levels. And I want to give you a kind of guideline so you can reflect for your school and for yourself. And maybe can reflect on it, even if you try to start a parents' platform for Malaysia to discuss this. And to have a guideline to think about it. So you have in the soul life, and a human being has this thinking quality, which we see very much in our head, sense, and nervousness system. From the anthroposophical point of view, we have very much this feeling in ourselves, which shows very much in our body, in the heart and breathing and rhythmical system. And we have the willing quality in our soul, which is very much represented in the body through our limb and metabolism system. So this is threefold body system we look at. Organizing or setting the grounds for our threefold soul activities: our thinking, our feeling, our willing. This is what we want to educate in the children in an equal manner, not just the thinking qualities, but also the feeling qualities, very much the feeling qualities, very much the willing qualities in the soul qualities of the children. So also in the soul of a school, you can look at this from different perspectives. Also a school has, I know certain schools which have a very strong thinking quality, yeah, very focused on the learning qualities of the students, very organized, very very structured. This would be an element of a strongly thinking element in the school. You have this feeling element in the school qualities, and this shows very much how the relationships are going, how much the interaction among all the members of the community are working. Some schools are very strong in that. They have regular meetings, they have all these festivals, they celebrate together, they have all these actions where they come together, they like to be together, they have meetings, they do outdoor activities together. However, this is very much what serves the feeling soul qualities of the school soul, so to say. And then you have some schools which focus very much on the willpower. Yeah, they put things there. It is new buildings first. It is we have to set this up, and this has to be done, and the people are engaged, and they are there working in the schools. They set up the grounds. They look after the growing of the school very much from this working on the body of the school in the willpower. They are taking part in all kinds of actions. So only to let you see that there are these three qualities, soul qualities in a school as well. The best, of course, is, or what we should strive for, is that they are balanced, like within a human being. Not too intellectual, not too much thinking forces, thinking, but never come into doing. Other schools just doing, and they lack of their thinking, organizing qualities maybe. And other schools just enjoying themselves in having good relationships and running this affair and this workshop and this festival, just nice being together. Yeah. In a good school, it should be balanced, a little bit of everything, so that all these qualities can be strong. The empathy, the stamina in the work, will forces, and also the reflecting forces, which are very much the thinking forces, the reflecting forces of what has to be done. So, yeah, one point of view is that these qualities should be balanced. If the focus is too much on the one or the other level, either it should be solved by life, because at sometimes, of course, the willpower is more needed than the thinking forces. And normally in life balances this by itself, but you should pay attention to how balanced it is. Yeah. And for the quality of the thinking, if you want to bring in the quality, if you want to reflect the thinking forces in a school, try to reflect on whether it is really built upon free thinking, thorough thinking, whether it's built on a thinking that is born out of imagination, of ideas. How strong are the ideas? How thorough are the ideas in a school? All this is what you will find in the thinking field of the school soul. And the quality for the feeling is very much how strong are the arts. Is there really creativity in trying out, in thinking of new solutions, new ideas, in being artistically creative in a school as well. And when it comes to the willpower of a school, is there really enough people? Is there enough strength in a school that the ideas you have in thinking and the creativity you bring about, and this could be done and that could be done, and let's try it this way and that way, can you really do it? Yeah, so the result, is there a result? Is there something coming into life? Is there something being done? So this can be a kind of guideline in reflecting on the qualities of the soul of a school, which also shows the individual qualities of a school. And on the side of the teachers, for the qualities of a good school, on the side of the teachers, of course, it is how aware are they of the problems they have to work on, because there always are. There is no school with no problems, because this is teachers' life, solving problems, right? And how professional are they? How professional are they in the idea and the training and the background of Waldorf? This is on the side of the teachers. Their task, their classroom task. And this is where parents not interfere. You cannot help a teacher in teaching. This is his job. You would not go to a hospital to help a doctor to medicate you. So this is a teacher's job, very clearly. But on the side of the parents, do we have parents who are willing to support the school, who are willing with a lot of positivity to help the school growing? Shows the quality of a school. And for this, not to forget the children, is, do we have these children who love to learn, who want to learn, who love to go to the school, who engage themselves and enjoy learning? Because this is basically what we want to encourage in the children, not the quantity of learning, but the quality of loving to learn.